Now, members of the National Association of Nigerian Students have threatened to disrupt social and economic activities until the strike by university teachers is called off. The protesters, drawn from all universities in Edo State, accuse the federal government of not being sensitive to their plight. Paul Izenwa reports.
The continued closure of public universities across the country is the reason these youths have staged a march through major streets of Benin, capital of Edo State. The students who defy the money downpour want the federal government to end the strike immediately by resolving all issues with academic staffing of universities.
The federal government has chosen not to listen to us. We can't stay at home for this long, and see the federal government is not even attending to us. No, in fact, the way they behave is not like they are going to attend to us. I can't be doing a 4 years course for 5 years plus now. I'm still in school.
Unfair. Like, I don't even imagine myself still being in school. Like, I'm not going to get old in school.
If a 4 years course is a 4 years course, let the student there graduate 4 years. We cannot be studying 4 years course for 7 years. We cannot be studying 4 years course for 9 years because of ASU strike. Coronavirus came, we stayed at home. ASU strike came, we stayed at home. Just January here, we resumed. February 14th, they went on strike again. My ID card have expired. My ID card have graduated before me. I'm still a student.
They threaten to continue to occupy the streets until the strike is called off to enable them return to school.
The ASU strike has lingered for a very long time. We are not out, we are not hoodlums. We are here to peacefully carry out a peaceful protest that will send signal to the government, federal government, and even the state government that we are not happy.
You know, as it stands now, we have been stagnated in our academics. We have been at home for 71 days and nobody is saying anything about it. The government is going about their electoral processes while the even ASUs are going about their individual businesses, but forgetting that we are the young Nigerians.
When you refuse to fund education, you should be ready to build more prisons and use most of your chunk of your budget for military defense. So where we are just saying that if they refuse to open school, they shouldn't talk about election.
Beyond this protest, these students seriously want the federal government to present a well-thought-out ideas that can permanently solve those issues that constantly result to the closure of academic institutions. Paul Izenwa, TVC News, Benin.
Let's talk this through by speaking with the NANS leader, Oroche Precious, who is joining me now to discuss the lingering strike and its effect on Nigerian students. Thank you so much for joining us on the News at 1. Talk to us about this protest and how far you think this has really, tried to seek to achieve since the protest yesterday.
The protest, it hasn't achieved much. Thank you so much for having me. I don't know if you can hear me clearly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we've not achieved much. We've not heard anything. As we are protesting, we are watching our social media handles. They are hoping for good news. We walked all the way from main gate to Goa. Currently, we are King Square Ring Road, gyrating and doing all what we can to get government attention. That's all we need. We don't want to be out there under the sun. We are tired, but we won't stop. So we have not really achieved much, and we promise to continue till they notice us. That's what's happening right now.
There are so many issues on the table, talk about so many issues that ASU has presented to the federal government, which it's very difficult for the federal government to, achieve some of these collective bargaining between them and ASU. What strategies do you think? Yeah, so what strategies is the student union?
We are not even asking for the federal government to agree to all the promises of ASU or settle the debts at once. But there's something called negotiation. You move your grant, the other person moves their grant. I don't think if the federal government meets up to 50% of the demand of ASU and appeal to them to come back to the classroom, they won't. If by that time they refuse to come back to the classroom, the students will now fight them, will now attack them, say, "Why you are doing this on purpose?" But these negotiations have been on since 2009. And nothing is being done every year. This whole strike stuff is like a carryover. It happens every year. So I don't think these people are doing, I don't think education is the priority for them. If it was the priority, they would have fled this debt or attempted to do up to 50% of what these people are demanding. And they are actually demanding for their rights. Revitalization of the universities, equip the laboratories, and work on the salary structure, increase their salary, work on the promotion sector, work on this. These are basic things. These are basic things. Look at behind me. See people behind me. They are angry. They are tired. The country is just, I don't want to use the wrong terms, but it's as though we are stagnant.
If you can hear me, it's good that you're trying not to use the wrong term. I was just going to ask you what strategy. We can see that the students are on the street protesting. So I want you to talk to us about the strategies that the students are actually, apart from the protesting aspect, the strategies they are bringing on the table to force the government to accede to the demands of ASU and the students altogether.
We stayed at home. Just January here, we resumed. February 14th, they went on strike again. My ID card have expired. My ID card have graduated before me.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Get my other question. Yeah, I can hear you, Precious. Now, the question that I asked a little earlier is, you know, I see, or we can see currently that the students are out there on the street, and that we know that protest is one of the strategies that the students are actually bringing to the table. So we're trying to know what other strategies are the students trying to or are seeking to deploy in order to force the government to accede to the demands of the students themselves, as well as ASU.
As at right now, we are just using the protest strategy. I know senior leaders are in communication with some of these top ASU members. That's talking about the senior NANS leaders and the rest of them. They're in communication also with the government. That's happening behind us. But for us, the male students, we are just on the streets exercising our franchise.
All right, Precious, we see that we'll just try to advise that you ensure that the protest is done peacefully altogether. Thank you so much, the NANS leader, Oluche Precious, for speaking with us on TVC News this hour.